So, the growth hormone is responsible for the general growth of the body. It is responsible for the growth of almost all tissues of the body, which are capable of growing. It increases the size and number of cells by mitotic division, and also causes specific differentiation of certain types of cells, like bone cells and muscle cells. Well, the secretion of growth hormone is altered by the various factors, but luckily it is regulated by various mechanisms that we will discuss here. But let's first have a look at the factors that cause an increase in the growth hormone secretion. These include initial stages of sleep, stress and trauma, hormones related to puberty, fasting and starvation, exercise, and hypoglycemia. That is a decrease in blood glucose level. While, on the flip side, secretion of growth hormone is decreased by later stages of sleep, obesity, hyperglycemia. That is an increase in the blood glucose level, pregnancy, somatostatin, which is also called the growth hormone inhibiting hormone, and somatomidins, which are also hormones that inhibit the secretion of growth hormone by acting directly on the anterior pituitary. Let me explain it to you. Well, I told you that the secretion of growth hormone is not stable over time. It varies, not only with the age, but even at different times in a day. Therefore, it won't surprise you that the secretion of growth hormone is under hypothalamic control. Yes, the hypothalamus regulates growth hormone secretion via 3 hormones that are transported from hypothalamus to anterior pituitary by hypothalamo-hypophyseal portal blood vessels, which is a system of blood vessels connecting the hypothalamus to the anterior pituitary. Firstly, it secretes growth hormone-releasing hormone, or GHRH for short, as the name is suggesting that it increases the secretion of growth hormone. It does so by stimulating the somatotropes of anterior pituitary so that more growth hormone is released as a result. Secondly, it secretes growth hormone-releasing polypeptide, or GHRP for short. What it does is that it increases the release of growth hormone-releasing hormone from hypothalamus and growth hormone from pituitary. Another important hormone is growth hormone-inhibitory hormone, or GHIH for short, also known as somatostatin. You can guess from the name that it has an inhibitory action, so it decreases the growth hormone secretion. Do remember that the somatostatin is also secreted by delta cells of islets of Langerhans in pancreas. Now, the growth hormone secretion is under negative feedback control. Let's see how. Hypothalamus releases growth hormone-releasing hormone, GHRH, and growth hormone-releasing polypeptide, GHRP, which in turn promote the release of growth hormone from anterior pituitary. Now, the growth hormone acts on various tissues. It also activates the liver cells to secrete somatotropin C, also known as insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1 for short. I'll be explaining somatomidins in more detail in a while. Well, the somatotropin C increases the release of growth hormone-inhibitory hormone from hypothalamus. And this growth hormone-inhibitory hormone, in turn, inhibits the release of growth hormone from pituitary. Not only this, but the somatotropin also inhibits release of growth hormone-releasing polypeptide from hypothalamus. Well, somatotropin also acts directly on pituitary, hence inhibiting the secretion of growth hormone. Well, the growth hormone inhibits its own secretion. by stimulating the release of growth hormone-inhibitory hormone from hypothalamus. This type of feedback is called short-loop feedback control. In the same way, growth hormone-releasing hormone is inhibiting its own release from hypothalamus by short-loop feedback control, while, on the other hand, whenever the blood level of growth hormone decreases, opposite happens, and the growth hormone-releasing hormone is secreted from the hypothalamus, which in turn causes secretion of growth hormone from pituitary. Now, another important hormone that plays a role in the secretion of growth hormone is ghrelin, which is in fact a peptide hormone secreted by epithelial cells lining the fundus of stomach. It is also produced in smaller amount in hypothalamus, pituitary, kidney, and placenta. It directly stimulates the somatotropes and promote the secretion of growth hormone. Now, let's look at what exactly somatotropins are. Well, somatotropin is a polypeptide, defined as a substance through which growth hormone acts. They are called as insulin-like growth factors because they resemble insulin in structure, and they act via similar receptors. Now, the growth hormone acts on bones, growth, and protein metabolism through somatotropin secreted by liver. So, it is the growth hormone that actually stimulates the liver to secrete somatotropin. Sometimes, despite normal secretion of growth hormone, growth is arrested, leading to dwarfism due to the absence or deficiency of somatotropin. So, you can imagine how important it is. Now, the somatotropins are of two types. One of them is insulin-like growth factor 1, or IGF-1, that I already told you about, which is also called somatotropin C. It acts on the bones and protein metabolism, while the other one is called as the insulin-like growth factor 2. This one plays an important role in the growth of fetus. Now, both the growth hormone and the somatotropin C are transported in blood by binding with the plasma protein, but the growth hormone is loosely bound as compared to the strongly bound somatotropin C. So, at the site of action, loosely bound growth hormone is released from plasma protein rapidly, and its action also lasts only for a short duration of 20 minutes, while, on the other hand, the strongly bound somatotropin C is released slowly from the plasma proteins. Thus, it can act continuously for a longer duration, and its action lasts for about 20 hours. Now, let's have a look. How growth hormone actually works. Well, the growth hormone binds to specific receptors on the surface of multiple target tissues. Growth hormone receptor is called growth hormone secretagogue, or GHS receptor, which is a transmembrane receptor belonging to cytokine receptor family. Growth hormone has two domains that can bind to its receptor, and when it binds to one receptor, the second binding site attracts another, producing a homodimer, and this dimerization is essential for receptor activation. Well, the growth hormone activates many different intracellular signaling cascades, and one of them is the activation of the JAK-STAT pathway. Well, JAK2 is a member of the Janus family of cytoplasmic tyrosine kinases, while STATs, which stands for signal transducers and activators of transcription, belong to a family of cytoplasmic transcription factors. Now, kinases, carry out phosphorylation. This attracts and activates signaling molecules STAT. Now, Janus kinases phosphorylates the STAT. These phosphorylated STATs dissociate from receptor, and dimerize like this. Now, these dimerized stats migrate to the nucleus through the nuclear pores and regulate gene expression by binding to DNA. Well, the JAK-STAT pathways are known also to mediate the effects of prolactin and various other growth factors. So, we discussed about growth hormone here, how hypothalamus plays role in its secretion, and also you have a much better idea of feedback control, somatomedins, and growth hormone receptor. Now, let's move on to the next part to learn about the action of growth hormone on metabolism and bones.
Explore our extensive library of over 1,800 video lectures to learn about a wide range of topics. Only on sqadia.com.